What up, Reader fam? Today I am bringing you my spring TBR, and I am working with HMH Teen and Wednesday Books on this video. I haven't done a TBR video in a while, and that's because I suck at sticking to them. In these videos, I'm always like, I'm going to read all of the books, and then what do? I don't read the books that I mention, I read different books, which is not a bad thing because I'm still reading, just not the books mentioned in my TBR videos, but I still wanted to make a TBR video for the springtime. I just kind of miss making these kinds of videos, so I'm gonna make one today. I'm also getting rid of my anticipated releases series here on my channel just because I just want to include the books that I'm excited for in my TBR videos. So this video is kind of serving as my anticipated releases video along with my TBR for the springtime. So let's get started. I'm going to start with the 5 books that I am most anticipating coming out this spring. First up, we have Restore Me by TAHEREH MAFI, which is coming out on March 6th. This is the 4th book in the Shatter Me series, which originally was just a trilogy, but she decided to expand on the series, which I am a-okay with. I don't know about you guys, but when I read the final book in the trilogy, I was like, that's it? That's all we're gonna get? I really felt like the story was just getting started. So I was super duper happy when she released the news that this was happening because I need more Shatter Me in my life. I need more Kenji in my life. Kenji better have a big part in the next 3 books. That's all I'm saying. He's my fave. Next I have OBSIDIO by AMIE KAUFMAN and KRISTOFF, and this book comes out on March 13th. This is the 3rd and final book in the Illuminate trilogy, which is one of my all-time favorite trilogies. I think it is. I mean, I haven't read OBSIDIO yet, and if OBSIDIO disappoints me, then it's not gonna end up being one of my all-time favorite trilogies, but I loved book 1 and book 2, and my body is ready for book 3. Bring it on! Bring on the madness! Next on my list is Sky in the Deep by Adrienne Young. There seems to be a lot going on with this book, so it's going to be hard for me to kind of explain, but I'm gonna try to do it in a very simple way. But we love a complicated plot with epic characters, so please come through and get me shook, book. Book shook! So this story follows this girl named Elin, and she was raised to be a warrior. One day when she's in battle with a rival clan, she starts shaking in her boots when she sees her brother. Why is she shaking in her boots, you ask? Because her brother supposedly died 5 years before that. In fact, she saw her brother die. It's not only a shock to see her brother because obviously she saw him die, so how the heck is he alive? But it's also hard because she sees that her brother is fighting with the enemy. What you doing, bro? You're on the wrong side. Siblings stick together. So I believe what ends up happening is that the clan that he's a part of and the clan that she's a part of end up having to team up together because there's a clan coming after them, and there's just no way that they can survive on their own, so they have to team up and work together to fight this other clan. And that's all I really know about this book, but I am already so intrigued. I need to pick this book up as soon as it comes out and read it because I need to know A, how her brother rose from the dead, or how he's still alive, like what happened there. And it also just sounds like it's going to have some intense battle scenes, so bring on some action, please. I'm hoping that this book ends up giving me an adrenaline rush. Next we have Brightly Burning by Alex Dawn, and this book comes out on May 1st. This is a sci-fi mystery thriller-esque story. I'm really trying my hardest to work in more sci-fi into my life this year, just because it's a genre that I myself haven't fully explored. I've definitely read quite a few sci-fi books in the past, but just not enough to kind of get a full idea on what this genre has going for it. Like, I mainly focus on realistic fiction and fantasy, so I really want to break into the sci-fi genre this year, so I'm definitely planning to read a lot of sci-fi books, and this is one that's on my list. I've got my eyeballs on it. I want to read it. I want to eat it up with my eyeballs. And this one sounds pretty original, even though it is technically like a retelling of Jane Eyre, but it sounds really cool, and I'm excited to go on a space adventure through this book. In this book, we follow this girl named Stella, which I'm not gonna lie, I'm related to a Stella, so it's gonna be hard for me not to picture my relative. Anyways, we have this girl named Stella, and she ends up getting this job as a governess on this private ship. And when she makes this move to the ship, she finds out that the ship is haunted. And she's in for some madness, some space madness. She's also in quite a bit of danger because she finds out that the spaceship is involved in a conspiracy that could, you know, just topple the entire interstellar fleet. You know, it's just no big deal. Actually, that's kind of a big deal. I imagine they're gonna want to try and figure things out, or things are gonna turn out pretty terribly. And I'm sure there's going to be quite a bit of romance in this book because the cover is leading me to believe that 2 characters are about to kiss. Or maybe the 2 characters on the cover are just really good friends. But I'm pretty sure that's not the case. And the last book that I am highly anticipating coming out this spring is Warstorm by Victoria Aveyard, coming out May 15th. The final book in the Red Queen series. I'm currently in the middle of reading King's Cage by Victoria Aveyard, so I will be fully ready when Warstorm comes into the world. It's taking me forever to read King's Cage though because it's just so sad. But I'm excited to finish King's Cage and then eventually get to Warstorm and wrap up this series. Okay, now let's go over 5 books that I want to get to this spring. The first one is one that I know I will for sure get to, and that is the Booksplosion book of the month for the month of March. And that is They Both Die at the End by Adam Silvera. This is a book where on the day that you die, you receive a notification letting you know that, hey, you're gonna die. So there's this app called the Last Friend app where you can go and make a friend who is also dying on the same day as you, which is kind of really morbid when you think about it. I wonder what kind of rating that app would have on the App Store. We follow 2 boys who do just that. They find out that they're going to die, so they get the app and they hang out on their last day alive. This is an Adam Silvera book, which means it'll probably break me, because that's what a typical Adam Silvera book will do to ya. It'll destroy ya. Next I have The Hate You Give by Angie Thomas, a book that I am mad at myself for not having read yet. This was one of my most anticipated releases of last year, and here I am nearly a year later and I still haven't read this book. What's wrong with me? Everything's wrong with me. This story is a rather tough one. We follow this girl named Star who witnesses her friend being shot and killed by a police officer. So she deals not only with seeing her friend die before her very eyes, but also having to be a witness in this case. I know that this is probably going to be an emotional one that will wreck me, but I tend to love those kinds of books, the books that just kind of have a really big impact on you, so I am ready to read this book. It is time, Jesse. It is time. Then I have Libriomancer by Jim C. Hines. This is the first book in an adult fantasy series, and it follows this guy who is a Libriomancer, and what a Libriomancer is basically they are able to stick their hand into any book, and they can draw forth any object in the book towards them, and they can pull it out of the book, and they can have that object in real life. Heck, I wish I had that ability. I'd be pulling objects out of books left and right. Heck, I'd be trying to pull characters out of books. I just got an intense visual of me doing that, and it was not pretty. Next I have Waapahh, All-American Boys by Jason Reynolds and Brendan Keeley. This one is about a boy who is accused of stealing even though he's not stealing at all, and this police officer nearly beats him to death. I believe this book covers racial issues along with police brutality, and I mostly just wanted to read this book because I want to read more Jason Reynolds books, and this one has been on my shelf for quite some time. I read Long Way Down by Jason Reynolds recently, and I loved it so much. It was so good. Definitely one of my favorite books of 2018 so far. So that's kind of the sole purpose as to why I'm picking up this book, because I want to read more books by Jason Reynolds. Even though this is a co-author situation, hopefully I love this just as much as I loved his other book. And the last book on my spring TBR, even though I'm hoping to get to many more books than the ones listed in this video, but the last book on this list is The Copper Gauntlet by Holly Black and Cassandra Clare, book 2 in the Magisterium series. Here's the deal. I read The Iron Trial like 3, maybe 4 years ago. I can't remember now. It's been a while. Whenever it was first released, I read it, and I honestly remember next to nothing of what happens in the first book. I remember like little details here and there, but I don't remember that much, and I really don't want to have to reread the first book, so I'm hoping to go online and find like a detailed overview of what happens in book 1. So if anybody knows of a place that has a full detailed summary of what happens in book 1, can you hook a brother up? I just really want to get back into this series because I'm just kind of letting it pass me by, and I don't want to let it pass me by. I want to stop it from passing me by, and I want to read it. So hopefully I'm able to just like magically remember everything that happens in book 1. So that's kind of a little bit of an overview of the books that I'm hoping to read these upcoming months. Obviously I'm going to try to read a lot more books than just the ones mentioned in this video, but this just kind of gives you an idea as to the books that I'm hoping to get my hands on and read. You guys should let me know down below in the comments a book that's coming out in spring 2018 that you are pumped for. Also let me know down below if you have read any of the books that I mentioned on my TBR list. And lastly, let me know down below some books that you are hoping to read this spring. Let's chat it up in the comments, guys. If you like this video, be sure to give it a big thumbs up. I post videos frequently on this channel, so if you want to see more bookish content from me, be sure to go and hit subscribe, or go and click the little bell icon and you'll be notified every time I post new videos. As always, thanks for watching, guys, and I will see you soon with a new video. Bye, choo!